Hey guys, hope you're having a great day. Your old buddy Tim back with another video, and in this video we are going to revisit a topic that we talked about I think a couple of months ago, but things have changed a little bit here in the market, so I thought I would readdress the question of, is there a housing bubble in North Alabama? And I actually get this question a lot. You know, we've been in a seller's market here for the last, year or so. We have high demand, low inventory. We've got prices increasing. We've got people bringing suitcases full of cash, moving here and paying more than the house would otherwise probably appraise for. And so we've had quite a run up over the last year, and over the last couple of months, things have slowed down. And I think that is simply due to the rising interest rates. People are having to reassess the amount of home that they can afford to buy. Here in Alabama, this is also, believe it or not, our slower time of the year. Summer is when everyone is out on vacation, schools are out, that sort of thing. So we have seen a slowdown in the market, but you know what I'm going to say. I do not believe there's a housing bubble here in North Alabama. So it gets compared a lot to the mortgage meltdown, the financial crisis back in '08. So I thought we would do is let's just look at what caused that housing bubble and that financial crisis and compare that to where we actually are today. And hopefully you will come to the opinion that I have, that we're not in a housing bubble. So hey, before we get started, do me a favor. If you like what we do here on the channel, click that subscribe button, click the little bell notification icon, give us a thumbs up. It just kind of helps us here with the YouTube algorithm. And don't forget, if you are thinking about moving to North Alabama, we've got Revolved Realty here, about 90 agents now ready to go to work for you, helping you find the perfect home. So, all right, so let's look at the housing bubble of '08. So I'm going to call up a little graphic here. And first of all, I think it's important that we define what a housing bubble is. And so a housing bubble, or a real estate bubble, is a run-up in housing prices fueled by demand, speculation, and exuberant spending to the point of collapse. Now, we've had high demand, we've had some speculation, exuberant spending maybe to a degree, but let's keep going. Housing bubbles usually start with an increase in demand in the face of limited supply, which takes a relatively extended period to replenish and increase. Speculators pour money into the market, further driving up demand. At some point, demand decreases or stagnates. At the same time, supply increases, resulting in a sharp drop in prices, and the bubble bursts. So the thing I want you to remember there is that prices have gone up here, but they've gone up because people are actually purchasing homes here. It's not necessarily speculators, although we always have speculators in every market. And so the prices of homes have gone up, and they are making some adjustment coming back down, but it's not to the point where we are risking a bubble. The other point, demand decreases or stagnates at the same time supply increases. Basically what they're talking about there is you have a high demand, low inventory market. Well, at some point the demand lowers and the inventory increases, and if that happens quickly and prices drop sharply, someone could stick a pin in your bubble and burst it. So that's what a housing bubble is. But I want to look at what caused the 2008 crisis, because that's what I hear a lot. I'm asked this all the time. Is it 2008 over again? Are we about to have a housing bubble? If you look at the root causes of the 2008 meltdown, you're going to find that it really didn't have a heck of a lot to do with the inventory of housing, the pricing of housing. It had more to do with deregulation in the financial industry and loans being issued that should have never been issued. So if you look at this, what caused the 2008 mortgage crisis? Deregulation in the financial industry was the primary cause. It allowed speculation on derivatives backed by cheap, wantonly issued mortgages available to even those with questionable credit worthiness. Rising property values and easy mortgages attracted a lot of people to avail of home loans. Basically what happened is the mortgage industry was just literally giving away money. They were making loans based on things like just your stated income. They wouldn't pull any paper on you. They were easy to get loans. They were flexible in underwriting. And again, they were making a lot of mortgages to people that could not pay the mortgage back. It was also so easy to get mortgages back then that people were buying houses left and right. And I mean multiple houses. I can remember reports coming out of, I think there was like an exotic dancer in Las Vegas who owned 10 houses, millions of dollars in real estate, and she had managed to get mortgages on every one of those because they had very little qualification rules, low documentation. They would take your word for it, and it was so easy to get a mortgage in '08 that when the bottom fell out of the financial markets, not just the housing industry, but the financial markets, all of those homes, all of those loans suddenly were in default. And all of those financial institutions that were speculating in those mortgages crashed, and that's why we had the crash overall. So 2008 housing crisis wasn't caused so much by home prices and demand as it was easy to get mortgages, people getting mortgages that should have never gotten mortgages, and the manipulation of the financial markets. Okay, so we're nowhere near that now. That's not the place where we are. All right, and so unfortunately, it's one of those things that people keep talking about because they don't know exactly the details. All right, so since that crisis came about, we get asked about it a lot, especially here in the market, because as I said, the market here has been very hot. A seller's market, high demand, low inventory. Home prices have been going up. We've seen some silly offers on homes, but things are starting to change. And that change does not mean that there's going to be a housing bubble, okay? A lot of things going on that will prevent that, okay? If you look at our market here, prices have been going down, but not dramatically so. We're not seeing the bottom fall out of it. I think what's happening now are prices are being adjusted back to a realistic, appraisable property value where we were a year, 2 years ago. So, we're not seeing so many of those multiple offer deals over asking price. The market, again, is calming down. The interest rates have people tapping the brakes. And I got to be honest with you, I think this is a really good thing because I have seen so many home buyers not able to buy homes over the last year because it's been so competitive. Well, now they've got a chance to actually buy a home. So there's more inventory coming on the market, which is true, which is going to ease that demand. It's going to more level that out. We're going to go, we're still in a seller's market, but not as much so as we have been. So I think you're going to see prices just kind of calm down. You're going to see more inventory come into market. You're going to see houses sit on the market longer. And again, a lot of this has to do with just the interest rate. So again, prices have been adjusting down, but there's no bottom drop here. The bottom is not falling out of the market here. Home values are holding steady. I mean, we've had a pretty significant increase in housing and home values over the last year or so, but again, they're holding steady. Prices are adjusting somewhat. We are not seeing discounts. We are not seeing price slashing. There is no sense of urgency here in North Alabama. So, another reason why we are not going to see a repeat of '08 comes down to the equity that people have in their homes. In '08, it was so easy to pull equity out of a home, to buy a home, to get a line of credit. From '05 to '07, Americans pulled out $824 billion in equity out of their homes, leaving them highly leveraged. Okay, you may remember there were 100% loans, there were 110% loans, and they would give you up to 100% in a loan for the equity in your home. So what happened was, as the financial market started crashing, all of these folks that had gotten these easy loans suddenly found out they weren't qualify, or they weren't. It wasn't that they weren't qualified, but they weren't able to make the payments, and that's when all the mortgage defaults started and the poop really hit the fan. Well, now we Americans have more equity in our homes than ever before. Something like 40% of all homeowners in the United States have no mortgage. Imagine that, almost 40% no mortgage at all. And out of those that do have a mortgage, almost 20 million of those homeowners have at least 50% equity in their home. So let's say there is a financial crisis and things get kind of iffy. At least folks now have the mortgage in their home that they can rely on. All right, they don't owe as much on their home as folks in the past have. If they need to get a home equity line of credit, they can certainly do that. But the equity is one of the reasons why the experts say we are not in a housing bubble, because again, 40% of homeowners have no mortgage, and out of those that do, at least 18 million of those have at least 50% equity in their home. So, you know, the other thing is this: demand is real. Okay, the folks that are out here now buying houses, these are people that want to buy, move here, live here, work here. You know, we have seen some speculation in rental property here, as every hot market does, but I don't believe it's had as much of an impact on the average buyer as it has in places like Vegas and Austin, especially like that. So demand is real, but here's the big kicker. Credit is much harder to get now. All right, you're not going to go down and get a $500,000 mortgage based on a one-page form and your signature. It's just not going to happen. You're going to have to provide documentation showing that you can actually afford the home. So credit is stricter. You know, as rising interest rates come up, that's going to soften demand a little bit. It really is, because again, people are having to reassess how much home they can buy, how much they want to spend. So, you know, the whole point of the rising interest rates is kind of to slow things down, and that's happening here. So bottom line, guys, we're not in a housing bubble here in North Alabama. I get asked it a lot, but we are not, and I use what I just talked about to explain that reason. You know, again, the market is slowing down. We're seeing prices become more stable. They are adjusting somewhat, but I do not believe we're in a bubble, and I don't think prices are going to collapse, because we're seeing prices that are comparable in the market now. All right, these are prices based on other homes in the market, on comps, on real world data, and not just some smoke and mirrors at a mortgage company. So, you know, demand is still high. Prices are holding steady. One thing that's helping is new construction. New construction is really kicking into high gear here. That is going to help ease the shortage. So the high demand will have something to buy. Bottom line. So there you go, guys. I do not believe we're in a housing bubble. I know there are people that will argue with me till they're blue in the face, and you are more than welcome to do so. Doesn't mean I have to listen. So what do you think, in all seriousness? Do you think where you are, is there a housing bubble? Do you think nationally we're in a housing bubble? Is every market in danger, or are there exceptions to your rules? So, all right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. Again, if I can do anything for you when it comes to real estate here in North Alabama, we work with people every day who find us through this YouTube channel and want our assistance in finding the perfect home. And again, if you like what we do here, do me a favor, click the subscribe button, give us a little thumbs up, and click the bell. It just kind of helps us with the YouTube algorithm, and that way you never miss another video. And God forbid you miss these videos, because they are an entertainment value and they're free. So, all right, guys, that's it. Get out there, make it a great day. I hope to talk to you soon.